friends, today we are going to be working on something really cool, and I brought a really special book for us to do. And while we're doing this book today, we're going to be keeping something in the beginning of our heads, because your goal today is by the end of this, you guys are going to be able to tell me how do readers think while they read. Because a lot of times we read and our words sound really great when we're reading, but have you ever had something where you've read something and you're like, I have no clue what I just read? Has that ever happened to you? That has definitely happened to me before. To where I've read and I'm like, I have no clue what I just read. Adults do it all the time. And so we have certain things that we have to do, and we have to make sure that we are monitoring our reading. That means we're monitoring our comprehension. We're asking ourselves, did that even make sense? Do I have any idea what I just read? And so one thing good readers do is they stop and think while they read. Because a lot of times we stop and think after we read. But we're going to talk about how we can stop and think while we read. So this is something I want you guys to keep in mind, because I'm going to be modeling it for you with our book today, and then you guys are going to be getting to write down your thinking too. So as we get to looking at our book, I want you guys to start thinking about the story, and I want you to watch what I'm doing as I read, okay? So I'm going to be doing some things out loud that seem kind of silly, but they're things that I want to do to help you guys be better readers. And one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of kids don't stop and think about what they're reading. They just push on through as fast as they can. How many of you guys feel like you're a pretty fast reader sometimes? Yeah. And you know what? It's good to have fluency, right? But we also have to stop and think. And so I brought a book that's going to help us stop and think today, okay? So I'm going to grab my marker, because we are going to be using sticky notes as a reading tool. And these sticky notes are not for you to draw on yet. You might get a chance to in a minute. But these are going to be to keep track of our thinking. They're going to be leaving tracks of our thinking in our book, okay? And then when we finish, we're going to be putting some of those tracks up on our wall up here. So I'm going to have my sticky notes ready, because I'm going to be writing some things down too. So the book that I brought today is a book called Each Kindness. Each Kindness. And this is by an author named Jacqueline Woodson. And this book right here, you notice there's a little person right here. I can't tell if it's a boy or a girl. And they are standing all alone. So this makes me think that this kid might be a little bit lonely. Maybe she looks a little bit lonely and sad. And I know that my title is Each Kindness, so maybe somebody is not being kind to her. I want you to turn and talk to somebody next to you. And what are you thinking about this book so far? Stop and turn and talk. Let's see. We'll make sure everybody's got partners. You two ladies. Would you two ladies right here talk to each other? Would you two right here? You two gentlemen right there. You two right here. Would you two right here talk? And then would you mind scooting up so you can talk to this young lady right here? And then you two guys. Good, perfect. So think about the title. Think about the picture. What are you thinking already? You got to talk to your partner. Your partner's talking. What are you thinking already? Now, do you guys remember class?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Class.
Yes.
So raise your hand if you want to tell us something you are already thinking about our book today. What's something you're already thinking? Yes, sir?
I think when she's lonely someone will come up and be kind to her and make the whole world kind.
Ooh, I love that answer. He said that he thinks that she's lonely right now and somebody's going to come up and be kind to her and make the whole world kind. That's good. I like that thinking. Yes, ma'am. What do you think?
I think there's someone bullying her.
Ooh, okay. That's a great thought. So maybe somebody's bullying her. What makes you think that?
Because she looks sad.
Because she looks sad? Okay. That's a good... She does have her backpack on. So maybe where do you think she's been? School. We can probably infer that she might have been at school. And so I want you guys to start thinking, just like we did just now. We stopped and we thought about what this book might be about. We made some predictions. So I'm going to get started at this book. And this book is Each Kindness. All right. The winter, excuse me, that winter snow fell on everything, turning the world a brilliant white. morning, as we settled into our seats, the classroom door opened, and the principal came in. She had a girl with her, and she said to us, "This is Maya." Maya looked down at the floor. I think I heard her whisper, "Hello." So right now, I'm going to stop and think. Because I know this new little girl's coming to our class, and the little girl does this. Hello. So already I'm kind of thinking this little girl might be a little bit shy. So I'm going to write that down because I want us to think, and I'm going to stop and record. Now, you're not writing it down, just me. This is just me right now. I'm going to write down some of my thoughts. I'm going to say, I think the girl, Maya, is shy. Because my evidence right there tells me, so I've got my sticky note and it says, I think the girl Maya is shy. And I'm just going to stick that in here on my book because that's just kind of keeping track of my thinking right there, okay? So I think she's shy because she has put her head down and she's going. We all stared at her. Her coat was open and the clothes beneath it looked old and ragged. Her shoes were spring shoes, not meant for the snow, and a strap on one of them had broken. Whisper to your neighbor, what are you thinking right now about Maya? Class. Yes. You did an excellent job talking to your neighbor. Raise your hand if you have something you're thinking about right now. What are you thinking?
I think she might be poor or live in a barn.
Okay, so maybe she's poor. Maybe she doesn't have a lot of money for new clothes. What do you think, sir?
I think it's her first day to school.
Maybe she didn't know what to wear on that day. Okay, let's take one more. Yes, ma'am?
Maybe she got bullied.
Oh, maybe she got bullied a lot. It's possible. All right, let's keep going. Our teacher, Mrs. Albert, said, say good morning to our new student. But most of us were silent. The only empty seat was next to me. That's where our teacher put Maya. And on that first day, Maya turned to me and smiled. But I didn't smile back. I'm wondering, why didn't she smile back at her? If somebody sat down next to me, I would probably smile back. I moved my chair, myself, and my books a little farther away from her. When she looked my way, I turned to the window and I stared out at the snow. Close your eyes real quick. I want you to visualize and picture in your head what's happening right here. The only empty seat was next to me. That's where our teacher put Maya. And on that first day, Maya turned to me and smiled, but I didn't smile back. I moved my chair, myself, and my books a little farther away from her. When she looked my way, I turned to the window and stared out at the snow. Did you guys see that happening? Was that a very nice thing she did?
No.
Okay. And every day after that, when Maya came into the classroom, I looked away and didn't smile back. So I'm going to stop and think again. Let's see. So far, I know that this little girl is trying to make friends because she's smiling, but for some reason, the person that's telling this story is choosing not to be her friend. So I wonder, I'm going to even ask a question. I wonder why she is not smiling and looking away. So good readers sometimes even ask questions when they're wondering something. So let me show you what I've written. I said, I wonder why she is not smiling and looking away. I wonder why she's doing that. Makes you kind of think, doesn't it? She being very nice? No. My best friends that year were Kendra and Sophie. At lunchtime, we walked around the schoolyard, our fingers laced together, whispering secrets into each other's ears. One day while we were near the slide, Maya came over to us. She held open her hand to show us the shiny jacks and the tiny red ball she had gotten for her birthday. "It's a high bouncer," she said, but none of us wanted to play. So Maya played a game against herself. So Maya had gotten these new little jacks. It's a game, these little jacks, and you throw them down and you bounce a ball, and then you have to pick up as many jacks as you can while that ball is still up in the air. So she's playing this game, jacks, and she asked them to play, and they said no. So she had to play all by herself.
For her birthday.
That afternoon, when we got back into the classroom, Maya whispered to me, "Bet you can't guess who the new Jacks champion of the world is." Behind me, Andrew whispered, "Chloe's got a new friend, Chloe's got a new friend." "She's not my friend," I whispered back. So does Maya, what's she doing? She's still trying to have friends. I'm going to write that down. So I'm going to say Maya is still trying to have friends. I'm just going to write, Maya is still trying. Because you know what? These don't even have to be complete sentences. These can just be written. So I'm going to write, Maya is still trying. But look how sad she looks now. She doesn't look very happy, does she? Because that little boy was making fun of her. The weeks passed. Every day we whispered about Maya, laughing at her clothes, her shoes, the strange food she brought for lunch. Some days Maya held out her hand to show us what she had brought to school. A deck of cards, pickup sticks, a small tattered doll. Whenever she asked us to play, we said no. I want you right now on your sticky note, I want you to write down what you're thinking right now. What do you think about what we've read so far? It doesn't have to be a complete sentence. You can draw a little picture if you want. But I want you to record, what are you thinking as a reader right now? Maya is M-A-Y-A. But remember, it doesn't even have to be perfect. You can just put M and that'd be all right. What are you thinking as a reader right now?
It says it's with T-H-I-N-K.
Do your best job spelling. It doesn't have to be perfect. Great writing, I can tell. Just do your best job. You can even write N if you want to, like a capital N, so that we know who you're talking about. Very nice. I'm going to give you about 10, 15 more seconds. Okay, I want you to read what you wrote on your sticky note to your partner that's sitting next to you. Now, here's what I want you to do first. Hold on. I want the person with the longest hair to read theirs first. The longest hair reads theirs first. Okay?
I just drew a picture. I think she is sad. Look at my picture. No.
When you and your partner are finished sharing with each other, I want you to turn back to me so that I can tell that you're done. All right, let's raise your hand if you have one that you want to share with us.